Ladies and gentlemen, lovers of war, traders of great renown, I, the Strategic Indian, bid you welcome to my channel, where our motto is think, practice thinking. If you like the content, please do not forget to like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment, which will greatly help with the almighty YouTube algorithm. Wars are expensive. Total wars are totally expensive. Therefore, if you would like to, then you can support my armies and cities via coffee or directly through PayPal. Links are in the description below. Other than a one-time donation, those entering the monthly membership tiers can have my heaven shaker armies named after themselves and watch with pride as they blaze their way to glory. For the city builder in you, whole cities can be named after you, which will last the test of time herself. Thanks in advance for any and all support. Now, on with the show. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our advanced gameplay series on Banished, where we, in the previous episode, went ahead and built the first Forester's Hub, which is going to bring us a tremendous amount of food. We also had a lot of children getting educated and starting their new lives. So the last one is Stalin and Martin. So let's go ahead and look at the housing situation, and then I'm going to outline what exactly we are going to do in this episode. So we have Mads, who's female, and Parleton, who's male, who can do a nice pair up. And here we have Florentine, Lila. Okay, let's check the houses over here. Right, so Celine and French who became adults are cooped up, so we don't need a new house for them. And so is Mertini right here, is cooped up. We need to not build any houses for them. However, what we can do is go ahead and build up the next Forester's Hub, which is going to be the target of this episode. So let's put 2 workers and let's open up the storage barn and the gatherers. We have 5 people free to work, so that's fantastic. We can put in 4 for the gatherer's hut, which gives a tremendous amount of food early game, and then we can have 1 person as a safeguard against our teacher, our soul teacher, dying and making a bunch of uneducated people come out. So that's not what we want. We are going to push up the fuel limit to 1,000 because we have plenty of wood coming in. We have 286 for this early game. That's a lot, which is going to be great for us because we are going to go primarily into trading. Let's turn off the leather hide tailor because we cannot give enough hides for him to tan into leather coats. We looked last time into how leather coats are made. We looked at how they pick up, how the hunter goes and hunts these deer which walk around, gets venison which we eat, and also gets hide which we go ahead and make into hide coats. Now we don't have any market as yet because this is still very early game. We have just got the second one of our Forester's Hub is what we are going into. So what we actually don't need right now is a market, but we are going to get into a market. Somebody went ahead and graduated, so we're going to slow the game down a little bit. We were going at 10 speed. We'll go down to 5 because I need to take a few decisions. So Parleton, for example, has become a dirt, so needs a house, and also Florentine. So let's see if we can build a house to this beautiful couple. Right, our new gatherer's hut is up. Let's put it 8 workers. Let's open up another house to be built. As promised, we keep 1 laborer free so that we can stop complete mass uneducation from hitting us. This is the second forester's hub, and as you can see, where is the forester? This is the forester. He has got a very nice amount of clump of trees in its purview, so it's going to make a gigantic amount of food again. Our food is dropping quite a lot because we went down to 1350 food. We were up to 1000 at one point, but with the second gatherer's hut kicking in, I'm not worried. We're going to get a lot of things done. The housing is still a bit screwed up because we just built this particular gatherer's hut, but they're going to slowly move into this nearer houses, and therefore we are going to have a very nice walking distance between the gatherer and the storage barn from their respective houses. Our hunter did a successful hunt because I can see 6 hide. So let's open up the tailor to do a bit of work, reduce the number of builders to 1 so that we can convert this hide into leather coats, hide coats. So our village is right now, this is a village. It's going to become a city and a megalopolis much later, but right now it's a village. It's a linear village, so it's a straight line going past the graveyard, going past our well to the woodcutter, next to our brilliant school in which 6 people are getting educated, onto the forester's hub, which is capped on both sides with 2 storage barns, which have plenty of space in them. And we are going to continue building houses. We are going to build more of everything. Let us prioritize the house, and we are going to, as soon as these 6 leather is used up, then I'm going to turn off this tailor, bring him or her into constructing and getting these houses built up quite fast. So our tailor was hanging out at this graveyard. They love hanging out at the graveyard and the well, therefore they are kept next to each other, so that they can have a nice, luxurious amount of time remembering their ancestors, remembering the past lives that they had in Moscow and in all these far-flung places of the Soviet Union, from which they were brutally picked up and thrown to the Gulag archipelago. They have managed to escape and begun life anew, and we are going to ensure this is going to be a fantastic life. Our stone and wood workplace is filled up, so I'm going to give an order for another stone pile to be built right here, quite centrally located. We've got a house up. Let's open up another house, because first let's check if we need to actually build. Workers. We used up all the leather. Let's stop the leather, and therefore put up so early game. Here we see Mads is 17, a builder, but she needs her own house, and she can couple not with Desica, who's female. He can go with Isaiah, who's male. So another labor, so maybe that's a girl, so they can't pair. So I think we need 2 houses, not just 1. We need 2 houses. And also, given that we are slowly going to build up the food reserve, because this one is going to kick in and it's going to make close to 2000 food. It can't make a lot because I have a bit of hilly grounds where there are no trees growing, and therefore there is not much food to be collected. So, but it's okay, we will make plenty of food. It's nothing to worry about. We have 3 laborers at this point, so I want to put them into the second forester's hub. That's where they're going to go. And I'm going to prioritize the hunting cabin because I want to get more leather. More leather equals more leather coats. That is going to ensure everybody has got leather coats. They have got protection against the elements, which allows them to go out and work for longer. So whenever you have this system of people without clothes, then they keep coming back to their houses, which requires more firewood, and firewood is something that I wish to trade. I don't want it to get used up on these silly things as these people getting complaining about the cold. Don't want that in my life. Another house footprint is down. Another one of our storage stockpile is up, so that is fantastic. Early game, constantly check the houses. So in these houses we don't have anybody who requires a new house. So for example, Bald, who's 11-year-old male, might be a candidate to move in another house, but of course with adult supervision. I'm gonna keep this house up because I'm pretty sure Mads has to move to this house. But yes, there we go. Maddis and Destine has moved into the house. Perfect. Look at that. Desica 15 is a candidate for when she grows, gets out into the real world. Now, this is interesting. As soon as a male and female crosses age 50, then they stop reproducing, right? So you have till the age of, say, 12 to 50 for them to make children. Beyond that, they are not going to do that. So these particular houses, say this is 30 and 37, can produce more children. So can this one, but this one not, because Daraya female is over 51. Neither can this house because Simond is 54, and Freem, this house is the last child which is born in this house. Odanelith is over 50, and similarly Ore and Basi. Simond has an interesting tale. So Simond used to live in Leningrad, and he had a small clerical job, nothing important, nothing that anybody cared about. He went to his job every day, and he used to work as diligently as possible. But given the fact that this is a despotic regime under Stalin, who is one of the greatest despots in history, he is of course suspect, because this guy comes on time, he does his job. Must be a spy. This guy must have an agenda, because spies don't wish to draw attention to themselves, right? So yeah, Simond is a spy. So given that Simond has a lot of respect within the company, the manager is the guy who sold him out. Now the manager did not want Simond to create a scene. Now what they could do is that they had these black cars going around the Soviet Union, which would just stop, doors would get flung open, people would get out, bundle you into the car, and there you go, off to the gulag. Now that they didn't want to do in case of Simond, because what we have in Simond is a great civil servant. This guy, even if you have such a system which is constantly monitoring you, constantly making you scared of them, even they have a bit of decency in picking up somebody as innocent as Simond. So what happened is the manager, which had ratted out Simond, goes to him and says, hey, you've been doing a fantastic job these last 27 years of your service. So what the state has done is, look at how generous the state is. The state has decided to send you on a holiday, both for you and your wife to the beautiful Black Sea port city of Sochi. Here are the tickets. You leave this Friday. Okay. Well, I don't have plans to go to Sochi. Well, guess what? The tickets are non-refundable. Get on the train and start moving to Sochi this Friday. You have a weekend off and go ahead and enjoy. Thank you for your service for 27 years. So Simon and his wife, they are going all the way to Sochi, and from Leningrad, that's really really far away. So near to Moscow, there is of course a big stop, and there in the stop in this beautiful town, for this beautiful town, this beautiful railway station of Moscow, which is really just fantastic. A very friendly man approaches Simon. So he's there with his wife, with all of his luggage. He has packed his underwear, he's packed all of his best clothes. He is looking forward to his swimming trunks and taking a dip in the Black Sea. Young man comes to him and says, "Hey, Mr. Simon, you don't recognize me, but I recognize you. I have a small favor to ask for you. Could I have 10 minutes of your time?" And here is this man going on a vacation after 27 years of working with his wife, and he has no clue. So he doesn't recognize this young man, and his wife is there. They exchange glances like, "Who is this guy? Do you know him?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know who this guy is." But he is very persistent. He keeps on saying, "It'll just take a little while. Why don't you just follow me? And we'll get it sorted very, very soon. Nothing to worry about. Please come and follow me." And there, Simon leaves his wife standing. This wife who has seen him working in the office for 27 years. She stood there for 10 minutes to 30 minutes. It became an hour. It became 2 hours. She went and started getting frantic. She went to the railway counter. The ticket checker couldn't help. They didn't know. Everybody knew what was on. Simon was on a train to the Gulag. Stories like this, there are so many stories in the Soviet Union. It's such a sad reality that society had to go through such a tremendous churning of human beings, of life, of love, which was all tossed in the corner because, yeah, a person diligently doing their job for 27 years was definitely a spy, because spies don't make any mistakes. They cross their T's, they dot their I's, they are just perfect. They have got everything planned out. They are good servants. They are there to listen to you. And therefore, Simon was on a train to the Gulag. Now the story is not about just Simon. Story is also about this poor woman standing there. Imagine someone that you love waiting for you while you are on a train, because you were going on holiday. You were going on holiday. You had your best suits. You had packed your swimming underpants so that you can go ahead and take a dip in the Black Sea, which they made provisions for you. They went out of their way. They went out of their way. They made sure that you were going to have a great time. There we go. Soviet Union. We have Jessica, who has become a labor, and that is a bit of a problem because we don't have enough houses for both sides of the Forester's Hub to keep them. Therefore, I shall make sure that he is lodged nearer to the market. So let's put up a footprint of a tailor right here, which we are going to pause. No point building it. And blacksmith. Which I am also going to pause. No point building it. Now imagine somebody who really loves you. See how helpless that makes you feel. This poor woman standing there, nobody in the entire world is going to come forward and help her in that situation. Nobody in their right mind is going to do that. Because everybody knows what just has happened. Then once you return to your office, you go to the office that, hey, did Simon come back to work? No. He went on the holiday. Weren't you with her? Yes, I was. And then this young man came and asked him to leave for a minute, and I never saw my husband again. Do you know anything about it? Well, you were there in Moscow railway station. Maybe you did something. You are the culprit. How dare you come and ask me? I am the manager of this big system. Do you know how hard my work is? Do you know how hard my job is? How dare you come and ask me about your husband? Do you think that I, who's working in this big firm, has time for your husband? One individual? We have to think about the people, the Soviet Union. And then this poor woman returns home. Because there is nobody who is going to listen to her. Nobody is going to stick their necks out for her. Stories like this are all there in Alexander Solzhenitsyn's The Gulag Archipelago. This particular story is real, and often I think about it, and it does make me sad, because I wouldn't want my love, somebody that I love, standing there helplessly, waiting for me with no answers, only questions which you can't even ask, because in that system you don't talk. The more you talk, the less you live. Simond is now 57. He remembers all of these tales. He has got a new wife, the Gulag wife. Meanwhile, his wife is there in Leningrad, living her life. Doesn't know if her husband is alive or dead. But that's not what the state has time for. State doesn't have time. State is looking for everybody. It can't look for an individual. How dare you ask? How dare you ask? Isaiah has also become an adult. Every episode we are going to go into these tales. So please stay tuned. Enjoy these stories. These are real stories. These have actually happened. None of this is fiction. And so many of these stories were remembered by Alexander Solzhenitsyn and written down. And that has been passed on to us. And that is very important, that we remember our history. We remember where we came from. And we can therefore also be thankful for what we have. In the West, we really like to complain. We love to say that, this is, anything happens, this is fascism, this is terrible, this is worse than Stalin, oh my God, I'm so inconvenienced. And inconvenience is exactly the word. It's an inconvenience. But for the people who went through the Gulag Archipelago, it was their lives, their whole lives had become an inconvenience for the state, which went after them. Let's get back to Banished. We have now got two full, so let me pump this up. Let's go ahead and put in 8 foresters, because we have 2 foresters of 4 each. 4 times 2 is 8. I'm going to keep 1 laborer. I don't want to open up this herbalist because I have enough herbs. I have got 217 herbs, which is excellent. So the way it works is that you have people go and pick up herbs. They come into the herbalist, stand at the herbalist, a working herbalist mind you, and then they can get cured at the herbalist. So if you buy herbs, if you are going to be as rich as we are going to be, if you buy herbs, then what you have is you can have a herbalist in the middle of the city without any trees around them. But if it is centrally placed, everybody will go ahead and pick the herb wherever it might be in this entire game. and then walk to that herbalist, which itself doesn't collect any herbs but can get cured at that particular herb, at that particular, what do you call it, at that particular, words are difficult, herbalist, at that particular herbalist. Whew, words are difficult. We have people pushing to the 60s almost. Simond is the oldest, of course, and Ordenethil, whose story also we talked about. Bessie, 58. So 58 is the oldest people in this colony currently. And we are going to we are going to build up this herbalist. A reason for that is I do want to build up a gigantic overstock of herbs, because things don't go bad in Banished. So there is no rotting. When you watch me play Dawn of Man, I'm constantly worried about things rotting and decaying. That doesn't happen in Banished. So that is fantastic. And, excuse me, some program jumped up and stopped the recording for a second. So what you have is, I want to build up this gigantic overproduction so that later on I can, when I'm going to go into trade, I will be buying herbs infrequently. So I want to have a large overproduction. We have the herbalist going up. Let's check the houses again. I am compulsive. I have to constantly check houses. But these people have a lot of freedom, so it's not like how the Soviet Union used to check houses. We are benignly looking. Bald is going to become a laborer soon, so we have 4 students. We don't need 2 schools at this stage. We'll need 2 schools much later on. Nothing to worry about. And what we are going to do is, as soon as the herbalist is made, we are going to go ahead and put down our first market. Let's talk about the market. Why do you need to build markets? Markets are very important for distribution and getting things from point A to B much quicker. So whenever you have your people go and pick up things, food or whatever, they can't carry as much. Market workers, who are known as vendors, they have a wheelbarrow, and they can carry 500 total of everything. So it can be food, clothes, whatever, these nuts. And then what they do is they bring it back to the market, and then your tools are going to go and pick up something, a little bit of everything, and go back. Now early game, what you can have is, suppose you start with only a hunter, which gives you 200 venison. It goes and hunts 1 deer, gets 200 venison. In the early game, it's possible that somebody goes and picks up that 200 venison, brings it home, and then all the other homes are not going to have any food, because that person went ahead and hoarded all of the food. When you have markets, they can't do that. Then they are going to get little bits of everything. They're not going to get tremendous amounts of food, because they're going to also pick up clothes, they're going to pick up tools, they're going to pick up firewood, and all of that is going to get distributed, and therefore you shall ensure that there is no overstocking and that nobody just goes and hoards up a lot of food. Second use is, because they can transfer 500 at a time, if I have a market over here, I can very quickly get wood, I can get stone, I can get iron, tools, you name it, these nuts, over here But if I had to do it manually, then they would carry 6 food, 6 wood, 6 stones, 6 iron, and that takes just forever. We don't want that. We are in the business of making things happen fast. We have a good amount of wood cutting going on. Our foresters are maximum strength. Our hunters are maximum strength because we have 2 hunting lodges, 1 each. Never put more than 1 hunter. And we have now gone ahead and put down the market. So let's watch the market getting constructed. After which we are going to have a look at what exactly the housing situation is. Do I need to build more houses? And I'm going to build houses near to the market so that I can go ahead and slowly move towards the 3rd quadrant. And of course the market will require labor, and that will require houses. So let's put in 1 vendor. Now let me go quickly and have a look at houses. Bald is still a student. Somebody here is a gatherer. So Orlandi needs a house. So I need to build 1 house. Every other house is filled with either adults who are paired up. Now, if you think that, hey, Orlandi is a gatherer and there's a gathering hut right there, so I shouldn't move Orlandi, that's wrong. Because if Orlandi moves to this new house, somebody else is going to get a job of a gatherer or whatever he was doing over there, back there. So you, whenever you move people, the system is going to do a check and going to automatically assign somebody for that particular job. I like to build the same kind of houses for every clump. Right, let's have a look at our market, and I'm going to pin the market over here. So here you can see herbs have come in, a lot of different kinds of fruits. We can start working in the tailor again. Bald and Susanna has moved, so I still need another house for Orlandi, which I'm building over here. So Bald graduated and got into this particular house, but I require another house for Orlandi. There we go. Orlandi and Presley has moved in and she is 10. So yep, that happens in Banished, which we don't talk about. A lot of incest and a lot of inbreeding and a lot of, yeah, don't want to use the word because there are people who are less than 18 getting paired up with people who are above 18. Next candidate is going to be Lavonte. Lavonte will be needing a house. He is 16 now. When he goes to 18 or finishes his education, we are going to require another house. So let's slow down again a bit, or maybe pause it. We have 4,000 food, 4.5. We have plenty of wood, plenty of stone and iron, tools, good amount of clothes. I won't be able to supply leather quickly enough to my tailor to maintain leather continuous production. That's not going to happen. Now, what I need to do is I need to map out, which is very exciting. I don't mean it in a sarcastic way. I need to map out my trading posts, because trading posts is what is going to ensure us victory. So you want to go to the most extreme part of the coastline and you want to find out the most optimum placement of trading posts, and you don't want to waste a single tile over here. You only want to have the best. Let's turn this around. We are going to have a very nice trading hub over here. Look at that. 4 of them. Perfect fit. I couldn't even have it another tile to the side. Now this creates a bit of an issue in that going from A to B is a bit difficult, because I would have to walk. So if there's something over here, I would have to walk all this way to go over there. And similarly, I can get one, but can I fit another trading post over here? Is that possible? Yes! No! 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 Come on! Oh, we almost had it. We were so close to glory. We were so close to glory. We can't. So a bridge has to go up over here. Now, because I would have loved if we had another... Can we do that? Can we do that? If I remove... No, I can't. Because ideally I would like a bridge over here, but then I can't. So let's pause these buildings on the far side, because there is no way we are going to get those built. Let's pause this bridge, because this bridge is nearer. Let's pause these ones. Let's keep these two open. And let's increase the priority. And let's unpause the game. So additional people are going to be housed over here, and then we are going to slowly move towards the third quadrant. Where here you can see how close we are towards the third quadrant. Third quadrant is right there. Now, I do want to build up this particular trading post area. And trading posts are going to require a crazy amount of storage, because we need 1,000,000 food. 1,000,000 food is what we are going to go for. And 1,000,000 food, if I have 6,000 per storage barn. So these storage barns, these things in the vanilla game, that's all I have. They can hold 6,000. 6,000, that's it. I had to go and look in the game file. That information is not there anywhere. And it's 6,000. Trading post can hold 60,000. Markets hold 10,000. Here you can see we have got the market up. So we're constantly looking at the health of the market. And we're making sure that there's a little bit of everything. So our first wooden bridge is up. It's a beautiful building. Look at that. People don't need to cross it yet, but they shall be crossing this quite a bit. We are going to now focus on building up this trading post. And trading posts require a lot of ale and a lot of firewood. So we are going to start placing down additional woodcutters, because we won't be able to have enough material for making ale early. We will need to trade to be able to do so. So don't think that with the berries that we gather, that will be enough for us to go ahead and start making ale and start trading it. We can make some, but we can't trade. Now, what I wish to do, let's pause. What I wish to do is I want to make a very nice setup for woodcutting. Now the woodcutter goes from its house, goes to the woodcutter. It needs to pick up wood, which it can from the storage barn over here, or from this market, brings it back to the woodcutter, chops wood right here, wherever that building is, and then returns it to the nearest storage. So that can either go to the woodcutter, to the stockpile over there, or to the market, because the market is a storage area. There you can see it has got firewood in it. Now I want the face of this woodcutter closer to the market. So rather than having it like so, farther away, pointing away, I want it pointing a little bit towards another one. Right? And later on, we are going to put in ale houses, which are going to face the market. And that is going to be this ale house and the ale house next to it. And similarly on this side are going to be the best ale houses in the entire game, because they are right on the market. The market will have the fruits, they're going to pick it up, go to the ale market, to the tavern, make ale, return it back onto the next job. Minimum walk distances. I'm going to turn off the tailor and we're going to ask them to build these woodcutters with a bit of priority. And let's unpause the game. Our save is coming in. This is winter season. You can clearly see we have 4,000 food, which basically tells me that I have got quite a lot of food coming in. Nothing to worry about. Let's relax. So Lavonte is a laborer, so that person needs a house. So we are going to prioritize house building. A lot of priorities coming up. We tend to be a bit tyrannical, but also benevolent. And that is nothing like the Soviet Union. We are much better than the Soviet Union. Look at us, how nice we are. Our progressive laws, tongue-in-cheek. Now, you must be wondering, why am I building these houses right into this Forester hub? Because all of these places which are getting occupied by the houses are actually going to be terrible, because the trees won't be able to grow in them, so I can't gather food. I won't be able to do my shenanigans of herb collections, etc. However, the main goal is, oh, this is terrible. Lavonte is an only person who walked into the house. So why didn't Dicky go in? Oh, because Dicky is a male. Two males can't coop up in a house. But it's fine, because some girl, Lysander, will probably become an adult and then move into with Lavonte. That's why also, in addition to the ages, it's also very important to check the gender. And yeah, I'm gonna keep this house up pinned, because then I would like to see that people are in fact pairing up, which is very, very important in this game. Right, more wood cutting, because we are going to start with one trading post, so I do require two more of these woodcutters. Let's put in two more woodcutters. So right here we face this direction and further this direction. Little bit of symmetry is always nice. It is beautiful. I'm gonna collect it up with the roads so that again the walking is faster. It's really impossible to see in this game. It's really difficult. You can't see anything. The markers are so faint, and if it is snowing, yeah, good luck. We have got 2 builders, which is more than enough. Our second forester hub is going to suffer because a lot of houses need to be constructed near the trading post. So trading posts require a lot of labor, 20 laborers, 20 total. And therefore we will require a lot of houses to make sure that we can supply labor to these trading posts. And early game, that's going to be very difficult. We are not going to put in 20 people early game because we won't have that much goods to move. But late game, yes, we shall require a huge amount of labor at the trading post because we are going to do gigantic amounts of trading, obscene amounts of trading. There we go. Liciter has moved in with Lavonte, so I can rest easy. Lavonte is not going to die of old age. So if you build houses really quickly, this is the problem which you're going to run into. You will have people going into the houses singly and therefore they don't reproduce, and then your town dies off. That is something which we are not in the business of doing. We are in the business of creating life and happiness. And now we are going to open up another trading post. First trading post is up. Congratulations, guys. Look at this beautiful building. Look at this beautiful building. Oh, look at that. This is a beautiful building. I really enjoy this building. Now, we are going to get into a bit of maths. Which I will get into in another episode. But for now, please remember this number, firewood 4147. That's something which I am going to explain. So this guy right here with 2 workers, okay, we have 2 deaths. Wait a minute. Hold the show. Odonathan and Susanna. No, Odonathan has died. Where did he live? Right, probably right here. So Dantonia doesn't have a wife anymore. So, rip. We are going to stop work on let's push up the wood cutting to 2000 because this one alone shall be buying up 4147. And of course I don't want to get into why that is right now. There is a bit of mathematics which we are going to go through. As I promised in the very first pilot itself, there will be differential equations which we shall solve to prove why that has to be that particularly large number, which is going to allow us to buy a gigantic amount of food once the trader comes in. Each one of these trade stations requires 80 stone and 40 iron, so I'm going to give an order for a little bit of iron collection from here, because the other person who requires iron is your ironsmith, blacksmith, and if that guy runs out of iron, then you're in really big trouble. So be careful don't not get blindsided. This game can blindside you very, very easily, especially this early on when we don't even have the townhouse. And trust me, even with the townhouse, I have gotten blindsided. So, happens to the best of us. Let's just put it that way. Now, let's put in storage areas because we are going to store a lot of stuff because we're going to buy a lot of stuff. So, right here, let's try to find out the square where there's free space. Let's zoom in. So 3 by 6 and 3 by 6 is not possible. We'll have to do a 5 by 3 because there is a little bit of a dent. I'm not going to use my mod of flattened ground willy-nilly. So I will use that only in very tremendously serious cases where I get aggravated and I might use it. Storage, wherever we find them, we are going to put it there. Later on, we are going to increase storage. We are going to put in houses, lot of houses, because all of these things require labor. Let's follow the journey of the worker. So here we have the worker, whose name is Destine. Destine has a wheelbarrow, so he can carry 500, up to 500. So in the previous trip he carried 304 because that was probably what was available. Went ahead and grabbed it, and now he's carrying a large amount. Let's see how much that is. 360. So he didn't carry much because he probably went to some place where there wasn't that much of firewood, and therefore picked up whatever was present at that particular stockpile and brought that back. However, this is going to go up very quickly as we assign more and more people to this building. This building has a maximum of 20, right? We're not going to go there. This is early game. This is very early game. This is not even early game. This is very early game. We just had our first death, right? First death. That was Odinethal. Rest in peace, Odinethal. And the problem that we have now is that this Forester hub is having its labor sucked out by this trading post, because somebody from one of these houses has to be a trading post guy, trader right there, trader, instead of being working in this particular Forester hub. But yeah, that's something which we'll have to live with. And also we are getting encroachment issues right here with a lot of houses being built over here. Something which can't be helped. Dicky is 17, is probably a candidate for another house. But I have to be a bit careful because if Dentonia dies, then that house will be empty and then somebody can move into that. So let me have that one painted. I'm not going to build a house immediately. We build up quite a lot of stone and iron, and especially stone will be in large demand because it takes 80 stone. I'm not worried about wood because we have two Foresters hub which are doing an excellent job. As you can see right now, we were getting a lot of people maturing and getting into the labor force. We don't have that right now because we have many people over 50, and therefore they are not producing children anymore. And then they are also dying off. Unfortunately, there cannot be any pensions, there cannot be any extra things that we can get them while they are alive. But there is nothing that can be done. The best thing which we can do is give them a cemetery to visit and ensure everybody gets a grave. Here it's very interesting. Here you can see leather and venison on the ground. So there has been a successful hunt over here by the hunter, and then she comes up and picks up the venison and returns it. which goes to the storage barn, which is right nearby over here. 200, every time you kill a deer, you get 200, and you get venison, and you get 6 leather. There we go, 6 leather. 6 leather and 200 venison per hunter per hunt. If you have, for example, so Dicky matured. Let me build a house for Dicky. And let's hope Dentonia also doesn't croak, and then we have a redundancy. I'm going to keep up the number of builders while maintaining 1 laborer at least, because right now we have a bunch of people who are very old and very near the risk of croaking. Sometimes I've had people grow to 80, but we didn't have that. Odal spray croaked at 69, and that's a very sad event for the small town that we have. Everybody is in sadness about this event happening. However, we don't have time to mourn. The Soviet Union is breathing down our necks. We are going to build up trading posts. Let's build up trading posts. This early game, I won't be able to get all the firewood up here mentioned, 4147. That's not going to happen very easily. So similarly here, backspace 4147. Now, what I'm going to do is a bit of a trickery so that I can get ale into my system. So I put down a brewery, and I haven't produced any ale, so therefore in the panel for the trader post, you see ale is not there. This is alphabetical. Ale is not here, B for berries. So I want to produce at least 1 ale so that that opens up, and then I can give them a command of collecting a certain amount of ale. And that I think will be for the next episode. How much ale are we going to collect? It's also going to be a gigantic amount, and therefore we will require a lot of laborers. And that is why we are building houses, making sure people come into the houses as soon as their ages permit them, pairing up, making children, making a better society. So Dicky is a male, and do we have any female candidates nearby? Yes, we have Karlek, who is a female candidate. Okay, Dicky went with Celestian. That's it, more power to him. So every house can have 3 children, max. So there are other slots like 3 more, they don't count. 3. So if you don't build houses regularly, you will not be you are going to run out of people, basically, because they won't be able to make pairs, and they can't have a 4th child in this house. Let's quickly look at all of our houses carefully. And the first forester hub, I don't need to check as much, because we have only old people living over there, and there is one free house. Probably Dentonia, if she dies, then this is a free house or something to move in. We have to constantly check the houses over here. So no children yet. I think it is Dwig who is going to be the next candidate to move into a house. But this will be it for this episode. So let's quickly go over. We did quite a lot. We completed the 2nd forester hub. We have started a market district with the first tavern being constructed, and we have also made our first traders, and probably in the next episode we shall have traders who will be coming in, and we can then begin our powerhouse trading. That is all for later. Oh boy, somebody died. We didn't have a laborer. That scares me. So let me go ahead and make 6 workers for the 6 foresters, and then I can have some builders. Ore the woodcutter has died also, so we have had 2 deaths, both natural, nothing that we can do about it. And here we have a free house because oh boy, so problems are coming in because people are dying off. We are going to get into the solution of these problems in the next episode. Let's leave it to the future to solve our problems for us. Some house decided to break apart, and I will have to find out which one that is. But that will be it for this episode. I hope you like this gameplay series on Banished, which is very advanced, filled with chock-a-block with all the advanced tips which will help you dominate this game. I hope to see you back for the next one. This has been the Strategic Indian, signing out.